Good morning, this is Kathleen Clow with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, August 15th, 2026. Today's fire potential headlines include continued mixed and wet thunderstorms across the eastern half of the basin lingering through the weekend, but decreasing in coverage daily, with breezy and dry conditions across portions of southern Nevada. Dry air will return late this weekend into early next week, especially across the western half of the basin. We've seen a dramatic decrease in overall fire danger from recent precipitation, but fire danger will gradually increase as dry conditions return. Putting that to a map, today we expect to continue to see lingering mixed wet and dry storms, especially across Idaho, and overall expect below normal temperatures basin-wide. We also expect some drier and breezier conditions across portions of southern Nevada today. Storm coverage will decrease through Sunday and Monday, and dry air will start to move back into the western half of the basin through the end of this weekend. As far as our current watches and warnings, a few flash flood watches and hydrologic outlooks across Idaho due to concerns for burn scar flooding with those continued lingering storms up there. Over the past 24 hours, we received some widespread precipitation across the basin, with pockets of heavier rain up to a couple inches across the Arizona Strip, as well as some heavier pockets in northeastern Idaho, western Wyoming border area. And overall, a lot of these storms came with a lot of lightning, as well as some localized flash flooding in many areas. Over the past 24 hours, the Great Basin had 16 new starts for a total of just over 6 acres and a large fire growth of 5,314 acres. Satellite this morning shows some lingering storms moving out of northwestern Nevada, as well as a lot of lingering storm coverage across central Idaho there, and mostly clear otherwise in the southern half of the basin. Overall, really no smoke concerns basin-wide for today and tomorrow. You can see some very light patches of lingering smoke across the basin, maybe a little bit heavier up across Idaho from those Oregon fires, but overall, not really any smoke concerns. Current ERC conditions show much of the basin below the 80th percentile, even some green on the map down in the southern areas near the Arizona Strip, and also higher values up in the northwest across western Idaho as well as northwestern Nevada. ERCs have been on the decline, and you can see that in our maps for the Payette and Northern Sierra Front there, where recent precip has brought ERCs down. But you can see after the next couple of days, once that scattered precip really moves all the way out of those areas, ERCs will be back on the rise. In our upper air maps, you can see that region of dry air in the orange there moving across the basin with some of those black and green areas designating those areas for some pop-up lingering storm coverage. But overall, you can see a lot drier on Monday, and we reflect that in our 7-day where you can see that drying out trend as more brown starts to make its way into the basin from west to east. Over the next 3 days, our main wind concern is that orange patch right there on Saturday across that portion of southern Nevada where we'll see some localized breezier conditions. And then overall, the rest of the wind that we're seeing on these maps is storm outflows from any of those pop-up storms we expect to linger there through Monday. As far as our RH values, you can see we've got higher RH values in the green across the northern portion of the basin there across central Idaho and western Wyoming, as well as the high elevations of Utah, and then some lower RH values, the western and eastern edges of the basin. Through Sunday, we'll see those RH values decrease, especially across western Nevada and also across eastern Utah there. And overall, we'll just see a decreasing trend in RHs, even up north as those storms kind of make their way out. As far as our precip totals, you can see we still have a higher chance for some heavier amounts of precip across northern Idaho today and some lingering storms across Nevada and Utah, but really not much storm activity left on Monday except for up north. And you can also see that these storms are moderating our temperatures, so we'll have below normal temperatures today, and overall pretty normal temperatures Sunday and Monday, 80s and 90s across much of the basin. For Tuesday through Thursday, we expect that dry air to continue to linger and make its way into the basin. Especially by Thursday, you can see much of the basin covered in that kind of high pressure dry air mass there with some red areas, especially across central Idaho, western Wyoming. So overall, we're going to see this drying trend really kick in, and you can see that reflected in our 7-day maps here, where really by Thursday, we've got no green left on the map, and we're starting to see PSAs really dry out and move into that moderate category. For our wind gusts and relative humidity Tuesday through Thursday, no real wind concerns, maybe some breezier conditions on Tuesday across western Wyoming, but nothing to cause us to add a high risk trigger on any of that. So really no wind concerns there. And then you can really see the decreasing RHs, much of the basin in the orange, and really also drying out by Thursday, especially across northern Idaho there. So expect to see RH values in the teens, and just overall drying across much of the basin. This warming and drying trend is reflected in the precip maps as well. You can see really not a lot of chance for precipitation Tuesday through Thursday. Maybe the chance for some pop-up storms at high elevations in Utah, but overall, no real precipitation pattern. And then temperature-wise, we will start to see those temperatures climb back up. Some hot temps, triple digits across eastern Utah there, and then of course hot areas across the Vegas and Arizona strip. So overall, just kind of entering that warming and drying pattern again. Putting those 7 daily images together here for precip, you can see again today is kind of our last day for some of that more widespread precipitation, especially across central Idaho there in western Wyoming. And that storm potential will linger in those northern areas through Monday, but really move out by Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday will stay mainly dry, except for the chance for some pop ups in the high elevations. And then maybe by Friday, we've got another chance for a little bit more widespread precip. So definitely looking out for that. But overall, still a warming and drying trend. Those trends are reflected in our 7 day maps. You can see we've got a lot of green on the map today, following some of that precip. And then starting tomorrow, you'll start to see some more areas move into the moderate or low risk category from west to east there as things dry out. And then really by Wednesday, we've got no green left on the map except western Wyoming, and overall just drying out across the basin with more moderate areas kind of adding into the mix Thursday and Friday across eastern Utah as well. Over the next 6 to 10 days, we expect to see continued above normal temperatures like we've been seeing, and then also a small chance for some above normal precip in the future there, so something to look out for. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.